Anything a human being does can be related to one of three primal instincts, those being to eat things, shag things, and bash things. And not necessarily in that order. Tempting as it may be otherwise, for now we focus on the bashing. And in order to bash, we need weapons. No war is complete without weapons, and this weekend Dazza's War on Everything brings them to bear for your amusement. Weapons cost money to acquire, and as such they are subject to the price fluctuations induced by supply and demand. In Nigeria, these fluctuations have been staggering. Since the conclusion of general elections in April, the machete market has collapsed. A good quality machete used to cost a political campaigner the equivalent of $7 Australian, but with the elections over, these Nigerian how-to-vote cards now only sell for $3.50. Iraqi weapons prices are more volatile still. An AK-47 assault rifle generally costs around $112 a piece. However, following the insurgent bombing of Shiite mosques, this cost jumps to $290 per weapon in response to growing demand from the Shia population. Japanese parliamentarians can breathe easily, however, as headbutts are still free. But one of the trends of modern warfare is that an invading army will generally spend more time peacekeeping than war-making. Presuming everyone's not dead already, this brings both occupying and insurgent forces into regular close contact with civilians. The tendency for insurgent forces to hide amongst civilians is inconvenient to say the least, as using conventional weapons in densely populated areas doesn't win hearts, certainly not from those who are still alive afterwards. In light of this, the US has invested a lot of money into researching non-lethal weapons, the latest of which is the vomit gun. The vomit gun uses directed radio waves to disrupt the fluid in our ears. Believe it or not, our ears not only help us to listen, but also to balance. Disrupting this fluid causes vertigo and motion sickness, the typical result of which is a good old chunder. For the forces using this weapon, they become less like combat troops and more like bouncers in a bar fight. It becomes much easier to predict the outcome when one of the combatants is trying their darndest not to have a spew. Obviously, this is of great benefit to hostages and bystanders, where phoning your mates Huey and Ralph is a much better alternative to being shot or having your neighbours hosting an airstrike. The vomit gun has already undergone rigorous testing at 21st birthday parties and nightclubs all around the world. And there you were thinking you were a lightweight. In fact, it was the US government and not all those tequila slammers you had. Finally, there is proof that all is fair in love and war. Birth rates in Israel are up 35% since the Hezbollah rocket attacks which inspired the Israeli invasion of Lebanon. During this time, Israelis spent more time inside, realising how precious and fragile life is. Is there a better way than sex to pass what could be your last moments? I think not. And evidently there's nothing that gets a girl turned on like suicide bombers and rocket attacks. So with the bashing out of the way, viewers may now spend the rest of the day focusing on those other two primal instincts. Best of luck with that, and as the French porn stars say, bon appetit.